Welcome to Inside Raider Nation here from Sharksburger, where I'm your host, Sonny Zappetta. Along with me is the co-host of the show, year 7, getting younger and younger as we go along, as head coach of the Rouse Raiders, Coach Josh Mann.
Hey, welcome. I'm glad to see everybody out and glad to be back off the bye week and ready to get into district play.
It seems like it's been a couple of weeks that we haven't been back here, but we're getting in the swing of things, and once the bye week is over, we hit the ground running, and it's going to be every week. Cross our fingers, knock on something hard that we get to play football.
I hope so. I hope we can do this long into December. That'd be the plan.
That's why we rested up and we got ready for that long run, and it starts this week. Opening of district play. We'll talk about the Bastrop Bears that we'll preview, and then we'll go back and quickly, Coach, visit the last game and talk about the Weiss game and some of the things that went right. And then obviously you can tell by the score, didn't go the way the Raiders wanted it to go, but I think a lot of lessons learned, and you got to see some things. But I think the time off helped your team.
Yeah, bye weeks are always good because you get a time to just, it's a long stretch there, especially coming out of the pandemic, and what UIL allows us to do in the summer. I mean, we were grinding all summer long, still working on concepts, schemes of play. So to get that little break in there before we go into the district run was nice. It fell on the week of the last week for the 5th week, 6 weeks, whatever you want to call it, but the grading cycle. So that was nice to have a little time to be able to take the time to, get in some extra tutorials, push the grades through, and it looked like that benefited us through this week. So we looked like we came pretty unscathed there. So that's always a big thing when you start dealing with all the anticipations of what's going on. But, and then get some guys healthy. That's, obviously another big thing. But, yeah, going back to Weiss, that was a tough game. We knew it was going to be tough coming in. We were the victors of it the year before and knew that they were hungry. And there's a lot of cross references and rivals in that game. But, when we executed what we thought we were capable of, we looked good. But unfortunately, you can't turn the ball over 5 times in the first half and ever win a game. 3 offensive turnovers, a safety, and a turnover on downs. I don't care what your defensive situation is, you're not going to be successful, especially against a good team. And a lot of those were uncharacteristic of us. So the nice thing about all those is those are fixable. And then, they were talented on offense. We knew we were going in a little beat up on defense, but that's not an excuse. And we made some adjustments throughout the game, and we played the run, I thought, better than we did the week before, and I thought they were more talented than Anderson in the run game. And that was, I think, a really upside, getting Ashton Davis and Adamas back. We went to some 3-down package, and, Zach dropped down to D-line and gave us some depth there in that game to bounce him around. And so was real excited about, even though it was not the outcome we wanted. And then they had some plays that went their way. I mean, there was some tip balls and things that you're just like, are you serious? But, that's why you play a game like that in non-district, so that you can see where you're at, test ourselves. And it was humbling, and we needed probably a little bit of that too, from the coaching staff to our players. And so kind of put our focus back in grip. And those games are great, but they don't count anything towards district. You can be 3-0, and it doesn't matter. You can be 0-3. Like the Bastrop is right now going in, and you win that first district game, your season changes. Yeah. We talk about it's a 3-season race. You got non-district, you have district, and you're fortunate enough you extend it to a 3rd season playoffs.
Yeah, and that's what we're planning on. That. No pressure, Coach, but looking for that long run. There were a lot of things in that game, including a broadcast not going the way we had planned, losing audio. It was kind of that way on the field. You saw the way the ball bounced, and when things were in their favor, it just seemed like it kept going in their favor. But the one thing I think that David Solis, who does color with me, he said is, one thing that you're always going to see about these Raiders that I've seen is they're never going to quit. And I said, that's been the mantra since day one, since you put a team on the field. And that's just the mentality, I think, the culture that's being built.
Yeah, I mean, we still had over 400 yards of offense in a loss, so there was a lot of positives to take away from that. I thought Mason played okay, not his best game, but still played really well and executed on some different reads that we were wanting him to do. We ran the ball effectively. I mean, we had over 100-yard rusher again with Justin Cannon. Calvin, I thought, looked great. You just look at the first series, that opening drive, we smack them right down the face and go punch it in. We get it. Zach gets another interception on the year. This second, but 3rd if you count the Westwood scrimmage. So, and put us in great position. Then we just unfortunately got off track, and by the time we looked up, the snowball got bigger, and we didn't put it out fast. And that's something a young team growing up we got to learn to do. And we started overreaching started doing other people's assignments versus doing our coach's assignment, and we started chasing ghosts, is what I call it. So you're trying to fix one problem, not realizing you're creating another,
Right.
versus just stay within the system, give us a chance to fix them. Then it's on us. Then if we don't get it fixed, that's on the coaches. And there was some of that too. We were a step behind. They had some good third down packages against us, and we were like, okay, we saw some things, so we know what to work on now, and had 2 weeks to do it.
Yeah, so a lot of time to correct those mistakes and learn from them and move on and get ready for district play. But we're going to take a look. We have a few highlights from that game against Weiss that Cody will pop up there. And we'll have a question. I've got a question for you at the end of this, so don't let me forget. Again, defensive play here. Love this angle here. Just watching the pressure coming off the edge there.
Yeah, that was something we found. You know, Caden Heitzman had to come in. We had some injuries at outside backer. Had a few more that happened in the game, and that's a sophomore stepping in the moment. And we got good pressure from the inside from Zach, good pressure from Caden, and you know that's a big hit. And that was kind of a shining moment for a young player to get on the field, and was excited about that.
Again, talked about defending the run. This is right here exactly what you want to see, and I think we actually had that shot where his helmet came off. Just a good hit by Logan.
Dash.
And Dash.
Yeah, Dash there. You know, we didn't get to play the week before. Really was proud of him coming in with a really tough shoulder injury that he's fighting through, but he's getting better as it's happening. And so was real excited to see him get back in there after not knowing and fly it around. His downhill presence makes it helps balance it between him and Zach, and really excited about that.
We'll see this wide angle play here. Again, the defense. And one of the things that we, started noticing is not really bringing all that pressure, just kind of playing base here. But, again, just how they swarmed to the football, I think, was one of the things that we noticed.
I thought we tackled the running back well in space. You know, we may have struggled on a couple others, but I thought we tackled in space overall as a game. They had every touchdown they had was on deep down the field balls. You know, they didn't make us look crazy. A couple downs there, here and there, we made a miss. That quarterback, he scrambled and made everybody look bad. And on long runs this year, we didn't really give up that to him. Now, he threw the ball exceptionally well, obviously. But, I thought our pursuit, our angles, those little things, we got to get off the field on third and fourth downs.
Yep.
It was plagued us the week before. We played this again this week, so we're still working on things to get better there. But it's going to happen. It's going to come. I know it is.
Yeah, we'll watch this next highlight here.
This is Ben's play, isn't it? Yep. Until it takes 78 straight back. Big play right there.
Just beast mode by Big Ben Armstrong there. You get to see this is a good angle here.
Yeah.
Just fighting through the tackle. He's still trying to block him.
Oh, absolutely.
Ben with the power just able, and then you got Dash coming in, and I can't remember, looked
Logan
like Zach
Fleming.
Fleming coming in.
Yeah, coming in, getting on the play. So, yeah.
Yeah, and then we got big interception there. Just has a nose for the football.
He does. He dropped well. I mean, this is, like I said, everybody's like, oh, man, we just weren't quite ready at the start. It's like, no, our start was great. I mean, you couldn't ask for a better start on the road. And we had a really good chance to take the crowd and take them out of it. Great job. Really proud of the effort of our guys getting down the field. Nobody's blocking from behind, getting in front. So that, man, I was fired up at that moment. I thought, boy, here we go. We're about to put it on them. And obviously, game shifted a little bit. But Zach does a good job of finding the inside route of the next receiver coming across. A lot of guys will flatten out chases, and Zach does a good job. You see taking the steps, looking over, crossing,
Boom.
right in that window. So, I mean, that's I
a
think
good
people are going
fundamental.
to figure that out and stop throwing it at him. I hope not.
Hope not. Hope they keep throwing it in his direction there. But one of the things that a lot of people had asked me is, what would a coach say to a team down 37-7 at half? What's your message to the players? I know it's not too high, not too low. Let's just trust the process and let's just keep playing.
Well, that was it. Just do your job. I mean, let's stop pressing. We were trying to overdo every little thing, and as a result of that, that's what I call chase and go. So let's see on film if it's the little things or if it's something else that we need to fix. And unfortunately, we went back when we got on some film and realized, and from the talking on the sideline, you can hear some offensive linemen wanting to help somebody on another assignment that wasn't his job to help, or doing another step over here on another tactic that's not where you're supposed to go with the ball. We're supposed to throw it down here. And then on defense, I thought I was doing this. And so it was just calming them down. Let's go out, win it by each play. Don't try to we can't go score 30 points on the first drive. Unfortunately, we didn't come out and do quite as well as I expected us to do. We did in parts and still in some small phases.
But like you said, whatever we're going to do, we're not going to quit. But you stay calm. You can get mad, throw stuff. We weren't playing uninspired. We were playing with effort. There was no doubt the energy. It was just a young team in spots that didn't execute the way we wanted. And so it's more just stay the course. Let's keep chipping away. Let's make ourselves better. Let's gain what we need to gain out of the rest of this game to get ready for Bastrop. That really is all that matters at that point.
Yeah, I think most people think you come in there and the fiery speech and you're throwing stuff, and Coach Elrod's throwing canisters of Gatorade and all kinds of stuff. But I think at that point, because you've never been in that situation, I mean, we haven't been that far behind in 2 years. I mean, at least
we
two
were
seasons,
down a
right?
little last year with A&M consolidated at half, but it wasn't that big of a gap, and it was just snowballed. And you have to know that at that point there were some plays in the game. If you play, we've been on a heck of a streak, and you're going to come up and then you're going to have a bad game.
Yeah.
And then there's sometimes, no matter prep, no matter what work you do, we see it all the time. Watch enough football on the weekend, you're going to go, that team just lost to who? Or they played that bad against somebody. You're like, what's going on? And I think we understand we're not healthy. We have not practiced consistently with the same group of team yet. And you go back to last year, we didn't have hardly any injuries at all last year. I mean, we pretty much went from start to finish all the way through. We didn't have to sub anybody out. We had the same O-line week in, week out, and the same secondary, the same linebackers, the same front, and now this year we've been on a carousel, and that's more normal. That's more actually on par. We just got spoiled, and that we're battling through and that we're hanging in there, and everything that was wrong was fixable. There wasn't anything on film, and you know that at half. We're just not clicking, and we're just an inch off. We can fix that. Now, you don't want to turn the film on and go, "Ooh, gosh, we got destroyed right there. That guy got blown up. That guy got." Oh, we weren't even close to running that play. We had moments. We just didn't put enough moments together.
Yeah, and the ball bounced their way for sure on a lot of their plays. And, it was just one of those nights, as we said. But I do remember A&M consolidated and the run that happened after that. And you learn from it. And, it's those things that you hope happens during non-district and not during the district play. But, again.
Well, we saw a lot of leadership happen after that game with the it's me. I'm not talking to the mic.
No, I think it's a little feedback.
I saw our captain step up in that game throughout the second half. After halftime, I wasn't mad. I wasn't just sending them all into the locker room. They wanted to meet. They wanted to talk to them. I thought we rebounded okay Saturday. And bye week and this week, we have really hit the marks. I mean, being on time, being early. Sorry, a little feedback there. Hitting our marks where we needed to be on what we needed to do. Kids have been early, fully dressed, prepared, locker room's cleaner. We're starting to take those steps, finishing our grades, finish our cycle. So now we know that was that humbling part of it. They get you ready for district play.
Get you ready for district play. And we are humbled by the sponsors that bring you Inside Raider Nation as well as Rouse Raider football on Friday nights. We cannot go without thanking them. We want to thank Crossover, Smile Doctors, Rudy's Country Store and Barbecue, and Chaparral Ice Center, our premier sponsors. But we also have to thank Jamie Armstrong of eXp Realty, Texas Medicare Advisors, Covert Cadillac, Texas Regional Bank, Lacombe Chiropractic and Massage Center, Yard Bash, Rock Springs, One Touch Point, Serenity Pools, The Grove, and, of course, our host here, Sharks Burgers. Got to thank Dino and all that he does to support the community and Rouse Raider football. So as we're up against the first break, we come back, we will have our coaches interview, and we'll talk to the one, the only.
Coach Elrod.
The Coach Elrod. So be sure to tune back in for that. We've got all the tough questions coming his way. We'll be back with more Inside Raider Nation right after this. The Crossover's vision is to give kids and adults a chance to find out what they're passionate about and to motivate them to work hard to achieve great things. We want to bring families together in one destination where they can enjoy their time together no matter what dreams they are chasing. From here, you can go anywhere. The Crossover is Cedar Park's premier sports, wellness, and entertainment destination and is a proud supporter of Rouse Raiders football. Visit crossovertx.com to learn more and go Raiders.
Rudy's Country Store and Barbecue. Our pits are 100% wood-fired with oak, a slower burning wood than mesquite used by others. Along with thyme and oak, we cook with a dry spice that ensures each plate of Rudy's Barbecue is perfectly ready for you. Apply some of our famous sauce, and dinner is served.
Welcome back to Inside Raider Nation, live here from Sharksburger. And joining me now is the one, the only, the Coach Elrod. Coach, how are you?
I'm living the dream
Still living the dream. Every time I talk to him, he's living the dream.
every day.
Sometimes I say that, but it's somebody else's dream. So I'm glad you're still living the dream. All right, Coach, this is how many coaching years is this for you this season?
16 total. It's been my 13th year at Rouse.
16. So that meant you're like 33. Started coaching when you were 17, something like that? Yeah. We'll go with that. We'll go with that. I'm sure nobody's going to buy that. Yeah, your wife's probably going to be like.
I'll take my hat off and show you.
Starting to see a little gray in that beard and stuff.
I know.
Those blonde highlights. That's because you're a girl dad.
I am a girl dad for sure.
That's what'll give you those blonde highlights, or you lose your hair, one of the two, or both. You know,
I
you
got
never
a
know.
combination, yeah. About to have a 16-year-old girl.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow! I didn't know you were that old. You're not, are you?
No, I'm not that. My wife's that old.
There you go. There you go. That's why I always tell my wife, can you believe that your kid is this old? You're getting old. But, all right, Coach, so 16 years. Think about, and I know you'll always give me the honest answer, but what motivates you to fight the fight, to coach, to get up every day and do this? Because we all know it's not the money. Coaching is not about the money. But I think I know your answer, but I don't think everybody else does. So that's the reason I ask you this question is, what motivates you to do what you do each and every day?
Well, man, great question. Lucky enough, I'm not smart enough to do anything else. No, I got the greatest job in the world. I get to come, at the end of the day, I wake up every morning and I get to go play catch with teenagers. I get to coach football. I get to impact some young men, and those young men impact me. You know, I get to be a kid. I haven't grown up yet. By height, that's still waiting to hit puberty on that. But at the end of the day, I play catch, and I get to hang out with teenagers, and it's the greatest job in the world.
Yeah, the camaraderie. I think the reward of seeing those kids. You have one of the receivers, Chance Cooper at A&M Commerce, doing extremely well.
Yeah, going back all the way to Brady Spencer, who's now coaching at Leander High. Yeah. Going back all the way to McGann. Chance, of course, is doing great things. Got Drew up in Aurora. Got to play a JV game yesterday. I mean, I got a young man named Hunter Ballas who's serving in the military, doing a great job there. And the list is long, and I see them all the time. They have their families, and I definitely feel old when I see that. But they're we've had a lot of great young men come through the school and play receiver, and I'm truly blessed. God has put me in a great spot, and He's blessed me beyond what I deserve for sure.
Yeah. Well, you've had a lot of talented receivers. You talked about those guys. Let's talk about the talented receiving core you have this year. What is the hardest thing about coaching the receivers that are as talented as the ones that you have this year?
Getting out of their way. No, the hardest thing is keeping them. They want to know so much. Sometimes beyond what they need to know, and it's a great problem to have. We talk about coverages versus always talking about scheme. We talk about route running and pressing an inside hip versus, hey, we got to run a 3-step slant or whatever it is. So their knowledge and how hungry they are, sometimes I got to reel them back and say, hey, we don't need to know that. I'm glad you want to know that, but we don't need to know that yet. And that's the hardest thing for them sometimes is how much they do crave knowledge.
Yeah.
Keeping that under control sometimes is is the hardest thing. Plus their energy. Sometimes I got to kind of
Got to reel it in a little bit.
bring it back in a little bit. But no, they're fun. And like I said, there's nothing really hard about this year. Going from, of course, 2, 10, 18, and 6 to my JV guys to my freshman kids. It's a fun year being the wide receiver coach at Rouse High School.
So how hard is it each and every year because of the bond that you create with those kids that are seniors when they leave? I mean, some of these kids, I mean, there's a connection beyond the field, off the field. Not just with you, but with your daughter, who's been the best ball girl in the state of Texas. I don't know how many years running now, but she's obviously going to hold that record for a long time. But how hard is that from a personal standpoint to once they graduate and you see them go on and do their next chapter?
Oh, it's extremely hard. You know, I tell them I love them all the time, but for me, it's the connection that I see with my girls and how they, like Riley takes losses harder than probably I do. I remember last year against Liberty Hill, I had to finally just say, hey, we got to move on and get over it. And she was, of course, her and Emma were both very upset after Friday night's loss against Weiss. And that's hard as a dad, you know, because I got to sometimes take the coach's hat off and remember I'm still a girl dad. And how invested they are hits me a little bit more, I think, at this point because they are truly invested. But, yeah, I always remember that I got great kids. I just spit on the mic there. I got great kids, and they all go on to do great things. I got to remember that sometimes. I'm not saying bye forever. It's a see you later, and that's what keeps me going and helps me out from getting too emotional sometimes.
Yeah, that's always tough as a coach, that bond that nobody really knows because they're not there every day of practice. They're not there when they're in the weight room. You know the time that you've seen them grow up, and you know Coach Mann talked about it a little bit. This group, it's always hard, and each group is different. But I think there's such a bond, and I think that had started happening really during COVID, and it kind of solidified everything because of it could be taken away from you at any moment. So you have to cherish those moments.
Definitely, COVID reminded us how much we love this game. And, of course, this group is kind of special because, I've known some of these guys since they were in elementary school. And, each year has that special group. I remember my first year, that group I started with, Tim LaPaglia and all those guys, they were in my freshman class. That was a hard group to see go. And then, like I said, this, Drew and them had Drew since I remember those guys when they were in middle school. But like I said, this is another hard year because I've known these guys since they were babies. And it'll be tough. Like I said, I'm enjoying the moment, cherishing every second I have with them, and trying to coach them up and keep them going and making this thing go until the week before Christmas. So
week before Christmas. So we've canceled all our plans. Cody's canceled his world tour. They're going to do that after the first of the year. So Chernobyl, The Secret. There's that shameless plug. What are you getting for Cody and his band? All right, now the fun questions. Name, and I think I know this. I think I'd asked you this one time. Name your favorite food. Has it changed?
I really enjoy eating crawfish during that season. And then if I had to go to, I really love a good steak.
Okay. All right. What's one food that you would not eat ever again? I was going to say crawfish, but you said it's one of your favorites. So.
I hate my mom and dad are watching in Olney. I hate chicken and dumplings. I really hate chicken and dumplings, and I don't know I'm sorry, Mom, I don't know if you were a bad cook or not, but I really hate chicken and dumplings. Always have, and I still, my wife likes them. I don't eat them.
No, don't eat them.
The idea of wet bread and chicken broth just does not sound good to me.
The way you described it kind of makes me think about if I want to eat chicken and dumplings, but yeah, I'm okay with that. All right, Coach Elrod actually goes and plays the lottery. This is pretend, okay? And you win. What's the first thing you do?
If I win some money.
No, not some money, like the Powerball. We're talking like hundreds of millions of dollars.
Well, my wife's been on wanting to buy a barn-dominium kick lately, so I'll probably do that.
You could probably buy 4 or 5 of those. Probably. I would imagine. Still wouldn't make a dent.
Yeah, I got 2 teenage girls. Of course, they both want trucks, so I got to buy them a vehicle.
Okay.
Of course, the smart thing to do is, hey, I'm going to invest it, but we know that's probably not going to happen.
That's small chunk, right? Obviously, taxes, take whatever. Yeah. But the one thing that I did notice in that whole conversation was nothing that Coach Elrod was going to buy for himself. It was your wife and your daughters, which tells me and tells everybody else much of a family guy that you are.
Yeah,
a girl dad.
I'm a girl
I got
dad.
3 girls
I
at
got-
home.
I got to take care of my girls. They love me and support me, so I got to take care of them. And
Take care of them now because the way I see it, they're going to take care of you when you're old.
I'm hoping so.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
got Ella. She's my girl. Hopefully, I made the other 2. I don't know. I'm betting on the 2-year-old right now. She's a girl dad for sure.
All right.
No,
Favorite-
I love those girls, and of course we all love our kids, but definitely got to take care of my girls.
yeah. Favorite flavor of ice cream?
Coffee.
Ice cream.
Yeah, coffee.
Coffee ice cream. I thought you was like, I
It's
like
gr-
coffee.
It's great.
Coffee ice cream.
ice cream. It's awesome.
Okay. Cody confirms that. If you could have dinner with anybody, past or present, who would you have dinner with? Let's say 2 people.
First would be Tom Landry, big Cowboys fan.
Yeah.
Loved the story of Tom Landry. Of course, I was a little bit younger when he stopped coaching or got fired from the Cowboys. Still hold a grudge on that one, but no, Tom Landry would be one, and then I don't know. I don't know. My mother-in-law passed away recently, so I definitely want to see her one more time. But other than that, probably Tom Landry.
Tom Landry, maybe your mother-in-law gets
Yeah.
to join in. That's awful nice.
Yeah.
Trying to get those brownie points back after that
I'm-
old comment.
Another true blessing. I had the best mother-in-law in the world. I definitely miss her.
Yeah. All right, Coach. Anybody you want to give a shout-out to before we let you go?
I like to say my mom and dad are watching in the big old metropolis of Olney, Texas. And then, of course, my girls got Emma, and she's doing sports med. She's also an eye reporter and she's definitely doing a lot. Of course, we got the best ball girl in the state, Miss Riley. And then, of course, my girl, my 2-year-old Ella, who keeps us busy. So those are. And then, of course, I better shout out to Taylor, my wife, who holds down the fort. So, and then, of course, all my receivers. Like I said, they truly blessed. I get to coach the best group in the state. Everybody wants to say their guys are the best, but top to bottom, I'm pretty blessed guy.
Yeah, pretty blessed. Well, Coach, we definitely appreciate your time. Always a pleasure talking to you. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we'll have a couple of the players, I think, are going to show up here, and we're going to grill them with all the tough questions. So we'll be back with more Inside Raider Nation right after this.
The Crossover's vision is to give kids and adults a chance to find out what they're passionate about and to motivate them to work hard to achieve great things. We want to bring families together in one destination where they can enjoy their time together no matter what dreams they are chasing. From here, you can go anywhere. The Crossover is Cedar Park's premier sports, wellness, and entertainment destination and is a proud supporter of Rouse Raiders football. Visit crossovertx.com to learn more and go Raiders. Rudy's Country Store and Barbecue. Our pits are 100% wood-fired with oak, a slower burning wood than mesquite used by others. Along with thyme and oak, we cook with a dry spice that ensures each plate of Rudy's Barbecue is perfectly ready for you. Apply some of our famous sauce, and dinner is served.
Welcome back to Inside Raider Nation, live here from Sharksburger, and I have with me the two best receivers in the state of Texas. We're going to let these guys introduce themselves, first and last name.
I'm Jalen Becerra.
I'm Troy Oliver.
We'll get better equipment for you guys next time. Okay, Jalen? Jalen, all right. Tough question to start out.
Tough question.
Tough question.
All right.
Pre-game superstition. Do you have any?
Not
Certain food you got to eat, socks, gloves.
I have too many gloves, so I don't have one of them.
Okay. No? So none in particular?
none in
Troy,
particular.
nothing?
No, I don't have
I
it.
don't believe that.
No, I don't have it.
Okay, so what's on your playlist?
I don't even listen to music. If I'm
You
being
don't-
honest with you.
Yeah,
Okay.
we just
I just kind of lock in
Yeah.
the moment.
Take a nap?
That
on the
bus
bus,
ride,
yeah, on
The
the
bus
bus,
ride?
for sure.
Okay, but no
For sure.
music.
No music.
That is
Coach
okay.
Man don't. I mean, I'm not gonna say he don't let us, but I don't really bring my headphones.
Yeah.
I like to listen to music on speakers.
Okay, so what kind of music? If you had a favorite genre of music,
Rap for sure.
okay, clean rap, old rap, new rap,
New
new,
and old.
new and old. All right, Jalen, what about you? Still
the same
T Swift?
No.
No.
New and old
Oh,
rap.
I was thinking you were like country.
Nah. Wow.
No?
Wow.
Definitely not.
Wow.
Definitely
country?
not. What? That's Ben Armstrong.
Yeah, I can see Big Ben being country a
Me
little
too.
bit, country music. All right, so when playing days are over, what's your plans? So plans after high school,
Plans after high school? Go to college and play football. That's
Okay.
one goal I have.
and get an education,
Get
get a
an
degree,
education, of
right?
course,
Okay,
yeah.
that goes
All that.
along with that, right?
For sure.
All right, what about you, Troy?
Same thing.
Same thing.
Going to college.
All right, dream school. What's your dream school? If you could go anywhere, where would you go?
Texas. University of Texas in Austin.
Okay,
Oregon for sure.
Oregon, why? Because all the uniforms.
Yes.
That's what I was
Yes.
thinking. I was thinking all the
Yes.
different style uniforms.
Yes.
Chrome helmets. Yeah. It's got to look good, right? Look good, you play good.
Yes. Look good, feel good, play good.
Yeah. That's what Coach Elrod, right? He's all about the style, isn't he, Jalen?
All about style.
Okay.
Yeah.
Look at them.
Look at him now. Yeah.
He's-
All about
yeah.
style.
All right, what do you plan on majoring in? 'Cause you,
Business administration.
okay. And doing what
Um,
with that? Do you have any idea?
It's like going into business management and all that type of stuff.
You're going to be the boss.
But basically.
Yeah, okay. I can see that. What about you, Troy?
Kinesiology.
Okay. And why that?
Probably gonna end up being a coach. I don't want to go away from football if I don't end up going to the league. You know, I'm staying in the football.
Staying some way around football,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
That'd be good. Give back.
Yeah.
All right, help coach those young kids. So, thinking about being a coach, it's one piece of advice you've been given that you'll always remember. Doesn't have to be from your coach; it can be from anybody.
One piece of advice is play like it's your last snap. I mean, personally, I've had many injuries thinking that it's kind of the end for me. So I just have to play everything like it's my last. So that's just kind of what I took away.
Okay. What about you, Troy? Besides, don't eat yellow snow. What's another piece of advice that you'll always remember?
Shoot, I don't know.
Oh.
I've had a lot of advice in my life.
You remember anything Coach Elrod might have told you that you're just like, that's going to stick with me?
It would have to be from Coach Man for sure.
Okay.
It's definitely from Coach Man. It's the don't let bad plays lead to bad moments for sure. That quote right there sticks with me in game. Like after a bad play, I just look to the sideline and I just look at Coach Man and just that pops up. That pops up in my head. And I'm just like, next play, let's go. Like you messed up. All right, like let's go.
Yeah.
Let's go.
You have to, right?
Yeah,
After
for
that
sure.
game against Weiss, I mean, everything bounced their way. Let's just
Yeah.
give them a little credit, right? They had a good game plan,
Yeah.
and they made some plays, but a lot of the plays bounced their way. I mean,
Yeah.
you fumble towards the goal line. I mean, those kinds of things just don't happen, right?
Yeah.
But the deflection, and then their receiver catches in the end zone, you're like, it's just their night.
Unlucky.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
you guys wasn't lack of effort in anything that you guys were doing, but I do remember that run after Consolidated, after you lost to Consolidated last
Yeah.
year, and everybody kind of doubted.
Yeah.
Yep.
But it got you guys humble, and it got you guys pointed in the right direction. And guess what? You've had a week to rest.
Yeah. It's the same
on.
thing that's going to happen this year.
Yeah, it's
That's
almost
the
like
same
you
thing.
guys get to start that second part of the season without having to play a game and then start districts. You got that bye. Now it's like in the second part of the season.
Yeah, that's our preseason right there. This is our second season. We're going into our second season. Then once playoffs hit, third season. Right
Yeah, we're
there.
playing on third season. No
Yeah.
pressure on you guys. You guys just do what you do, right? Keep
For sure,
trucking
yeah.
people and just keep outrunning people. We call you the highlight when you catch the ball. All right, so what's your favorite TV show? Do you have a TV show that you like? Favorite movie?
I have a favorite movie,
Yeah,
The Jungle Book.
The Jungle Book. Okay. And why is that?
It's just been a childhood movie I've always watched. Jungle Book, and there's Open Season. Open
Okay.
Season 2. My mom used to sing. My mom used to sing me the Open Season song when I was a kid.
Nice.
That's
Nice. Okay. All right, Troy. What about you? Favorite movie?
So I have a favorite show and a favorite movie. So
Okay.
favorite show, definitely Bubble Guppies. That's top tier. I'm sorry, that's
Yeah.
top tier. I don't care what anyone says. That's top tier. Movies, 42, Jackie Robinson, and Red Tails. Red Tails. I don't know if any of y'all seen that movie. It's a plane movie. They are like, look, it's African American pilots, and they go and fight off like the German pilots and stuff. Look, if you haven't seen it, go watch it. Best movie out for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
All right, so Troy, your biggest accomplishment on or off the field?
Said biggest accomplishment on and or off.
On or off the field? It's a tough question. Jalen's thinking.
Big accomplishment on the field has to be the fact that I had over 1,000 yards receiving last year. That's definitely my biggest accomplishment on the field. Off the field, I've learned to like. This may not be an accomplishment to like other people, but like I've learned to like control myself more off the field. So that's a big accomplishment for me. If you knew me from like middle school, you would see the change for sure.
Coach,
You'd see the change.
Coach Mann would definitely agree with that one.
Yeah,
he's
you see
kind of
the
seen you
change for
growing
sure.
up, and he's seen the change. He definitely nodded his head. All right, Jalen, what about you? Biggest accomplishment on or off the field?
I mean, biggest accomplishment on the field is almost breaking 1,000, even with missing a couple of games. And then off the field is kind of realizing how important grades are as a thing. Like, getting a good GPA is going to get you looked at by tons of schools and everything.
Yeah. Good test scores, good GPA, right? Got to do it in the classroom as well on the
Yeah.
field.
Has to
You guys
be-
get it done on the field, but got to do it in the classroom as well.
Yeah.
It's kind of a big thing when you get to college, right?
Very
kind of
big thing.
separation between you and the next guy.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
So it is important. All right. If you could have one superpower, what would that be? Ooh.
I'm sneaky, so I'm being invisible.
Okay, being invisible. All right.
I don't have to be teleporting.
Teleporting. You could just go wherever.
Go wherever
Just
at the
think about
right
it and just
time,
go.
right place,
Smooth.
anything, anywhere I want to go.
Okay.
That's
I'm getting some interesting answers. I didn't think I would get these kind of answers from you guys. You guys never cease to amaze me on and off the field. All right, before we let you guys go, because you've given us enough of your time, and we definitely appreciate Jalen for showing up in his
All right.
tank top.
I just got home from
Show-
a workout.
Showing
All
a
right.
muscle. Oh, you got done with the workout.
Yes.
That's good. Did you hear that, Coach? Working out. That's good.
No, you don't want us to.
Big guy.
All right. Anybody you want to give a shout out to?
Raider Nation and my family. Definitely my family.
Yeah, family, Raider Nation, and that's
The best coach
you
in the world.
guys.
Best coach of the world.
Yeah, best
Coach
coach in the
Elrod.
world.
Coach
And
Elrod.
Coach Mann.
All of our coaches, yeah.
Yeah, all of them have put up
Everybody
with you,
who
right?
supports us. Yeah.
You guys have had some good support, and I'm sure they're going to be there. This defend the
gonna ride with
title,
us.
right? It's time to defend the title.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, you guys ready?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, we're ready to watch you play on Friday in Bastrop. So good luck to you guys, and we appreciate you joining us.
Appreciate it.
All right, we're going to take a break. When we come back, we'll have Coach Mann join us again, and we're going to get to our picks, which is not in the favor of Coach Mann this year. But this is just week one, so there's lots of time. But we'll take a break. We'll come back with more Inside Raider Nation right after this.
Chaparral Ice and Field, located in Austin and Cedar Park. We offer a variety of classes and adult leagues in skating, hockey, cricket, curling, soccer, and lacrosse. Come on down to the coolest place in Texas, Chaparral Ice and Field. We aren't just ice anymore.
Welcome back to Inside Raider Nation here with Coach Mann. And, Coach, we're going to just jump right in, talk about the players of the week. I know we saw them on social media, but we like to give them an extra shout-out here on air. And we'll start with our overall player of the week for Weiss.
Yeah, overall, for our freshman was Jaden Sauceda. Got it. There we go. Really proud of him. He battled a couple injuries to start the year and then really had a good game. The freshman got another win. That was huge. They stayed undefeated on the season. And so really proud of them. For the JV, that guy.
Who's that kid?
Judson, man. He really came on, played well, had a big catch for a touchdown, blocked well, had a couple good runs. You know, JV had its shots. We struggled in some spots. It kind of looked like the varsity game, to be honest. Just a couple fade balls here and there. And busted coverages, some just things we weren't traditionally doing. Once they settled in, they battled them hard. We're slowly getting better up front. Our O-line's growing. They're just young, very inexperienced players that are learning how to play O-line. And once that group figures it out, they'll get back on the win streak this week. I feel very confident. Then overall for the Weiss game was Ashton Davis. Rebounded from the injury the week before. I mean, just a lot of his presence and some of the things that he allows the front to do, the communication on the back half, several breakups, several other things, really had some key impacts. So we were really proud of the way he rebounded and came back in. The coaches all voted on that. I stay out of these votings, by the way. I sometimes like yay, nay, but overall they come to me and I'm like, who is it? And so I let them kind of fight it out in the coach's office where I get the stamp on it. So.
Yeah. And then the offensive player of the week.
Freshman Carter May. Again, he's really playing well at quarterback. You know, we had two freshmen good quarterbacks this year. One's up. He's getting, play a lot on the freshman and is growing each and every week. Really managed that game well for the offense. They put up some good points, a mixture of running and throws, so that was exciting for him. Aiden Acton, that dude has been all over the field for us on the junior varsity level. He plays D-line, he plays O-lines. He could be scout team player every single week. I mean, there's times he's blocking Ben, he's blocking Ely, he's blocking, going against Ely. I mean, it doesn't matter who he's going against. He's just throwing his body in front of people, trying to give us the best look. And when you just think about that kid that just loves playing high school football, that he just cares about his teammates, that's him.
And then Justin Cannon had a great game. What was his official? 122, 123?
Official carries. I don't have the
yards for Justin Cannon.
120. Yeah, 123. Yeah, 22 carries for 123. Second 100-yard rushing game in a row. So, he's definitely, he walks on the field. He looks the part. He's really done a great job until we, hopefully we're getting 24 back here maybe this week, next week. So we're getting closer on him. And with Calvin, with Marcus, that room is crowded, but they all can play and they all have good roles. And so it'll be a challenging part for us once we get everybody in that group. But yeah, Cannon's answered the bell well as a sophomore, jumping into that offense and performing well. And we've been really proud of the way he's handled it.
Yeah, he's done a great job.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, 123 yards in a game.
And receiving touchdown.
Yeah, and through the air as well. And then your scout team player or teacher of the week, and then we cannot ever forget Sports Med. And all that they do. You guys know more than I do. You guys see them. I think they're up there about the same time you guys as coaches are up there.
Yeah, they're right in the doors. We're walking in the door because they got to get everything ready before the kids come in for treatments and ice baths and all this stuff. And then, when we get back, if you haven't ever gotten back after a game to watch how they can unload, because we have to take I know we say we travel every week, but they don't understand. We have to rent a truck, a moving truck, put everything basically in the training room in that truck to take with us to the game. And then, you got time all day to load that. When we get back, that thing pulls up, and it is an army of ants, and they are moving stuff, and it's impressive. I mean, some of these boxes are huge, and I mean, obviously the coaches are out there helping, but they're there, they're wiping. You got to wipe everything down. You got to clean everything down. You can't just, we'll come get it tomorrow morning. So it's impressive in what they do. And, I walked through today, and they're learning how to repair a helmet. So it's just not assisting in the sports medicine side. They deal with equipment issues. They deal with all these other things, and they have to be prepared for all those situations. But Erica Jackson was our teacher of the week. It is a trying time to be a teacher right now. I mean, there's the teachers dropping out left and right for all kinds of medical or personal reasons, and there's a shortage. I mean, I'm involved somewhat in the hiring process when we hire coaches, and I'm telling you, the pools are getting smaller. It's tough, and then you got TikTok challenges out there where kids are tearing stuff off of walls. Luckily, that has not been at Rouse. So go Raiders! Let's keep that streak alive.
I saw the latest TikTok challenge was pass all your classes.
Yeah, that was. I think I posted that. Like, I want to start one called "Turn Your Work In on Time and Pass Your Classes."
Turn your work in on time was the other one. Yeah.
I saw my favorite one was bring your teacher a Sonic drink. TikTok challenge. So that might be a good one. Damian Lopez was our scout team player of the week. Damian again is another one of those guys that's really grown up so much from his freshman to this year. He's working hard. He tries every day to be Jacob De Leon. You can see it, and it's so cool to have that. So really special in what those guys are doing for us.
I think we've got our special teams.
Forces,
Special Forces. We got to call them Special Forces Player of the Week. We got 2 kickers on there. It's always good to see.
Yeah,
always
Mason Johnson really kicked the ball off well. We knew they were dangerous. We really needed the height on the pooches. We didn't want to kick it deep, and he did a great job executing that. They had taken several close ones back all year, and we eliminated that, so that was an advantage point for us going in. Justin Tatum, again, has been consistent on the JV each and every week, kicking off. He jumped in and punted for us in an emergency situation because our Heitzman came up last week, and Heitzman had been booming him on the JV, and it was kind of like, oh, boy, who's going to punt on the JV now? And we had somebody else going, and Justin said, look, I can do better than that, jumped in, took over. And then Connor Thompson for the freshman came in a deep snap. Again, wasn't expecting to, and came and did. And that can be everybody's like, oh, the kick and the whole. That deep snap is about the most important part of all that aspects of special teams. So really proud of Connor Thompson jumping in and doing that for us.
Yeah. And then I think defense, we have the last, of course, the best for last, right, Coach?
Yeah.
Defensive coach.
Always.
Yeah. And no surprise. I wasn't surprised. You could have given that to a lot of the players.
Yeah.
But I think just the game that Dash had on against Weiss.
Yeah, we got guys that are – and the defensive coach is probably the most stubborn group when giving out awards. And, Coach Pels has such high expectations, Coach Alexander, Coach Ellison, Coach LaPaglia. So it's always, I don't know, this guy, which they the grading metric on their level is so high. But, what really kind of broke Dash out of that group is just rebounding off the injury and coming back and playing, to be honest. Like, you could have given it to Zach. You could have given it to Ben. You could have given it to, obviously, Ash, and we went overall. Jacob De Leon, week in, week out. You could give it to any of those guys. Dash kind of separated himself a little from the coach's perspective, just coming out of an injury that he was not confident in to playing in and then playing the whole game, knowing just rewarding that young man playing with that courage. I know a lot of other guys playing banged up, but I was really proud of him coming in and doing that. Jackson Anderson, what a great story Jackson Anderson's been this year. He's had some struggles in the past on and off the field and grade situations and that. If I would have been a gambling man, would he be playing this year? I don't know. I mean, I really didn't know with all the emotional stuff he has been doing with, and he's just stuck with it. He's learned tough love, and he's coming around to it, and now he's starting to really grow, and he's playing well on the JV. I mean, like, really well, and so really excited for him. He's, he'll play good at linebacker, but will he be able to make the calls? He's getting to where he's making the calls. He's getting guys lined up. It's just those other things that really proud to see him come around and get to it. And Carson Pruitt's one of those next upcoming guys. So we're excited to see what Carson's going to take that line. You come to play linebacker routes, you better, there's some names in that inside linebacker position. That wall is pretty impressive, when you look at that. So
there's a standard, obviously, that's been
there
set.
Is.
And you got some guys that are trying to fill that role. But seeing Pruitt and Anderson both, I've seen the JV play, but then I saw Carson play week before against Anderson, and yeah, you knew it was a matter of time. There's just some guys that you can just see that they get it, but to know the backstory and to see how they progress and they excel is just kind of icing on the cake. Yeah, that's cool to see. So let's talk a little bit about Bastrop. Bastrop, always year in, year out, they always got these athletes, and they can come up and surprise you. They hung in with Manor this season, and then Manor kind of took over late in the game. But they've had some good games, and they've been able to, put a good product out on the field. But what is the main thing, or maybe a couple of things from them offensively that as a defensive coach that you kind of go, that really scares me?
Well, some of it is they've kind of been in the same situation we have where who's going to play for them this week, because they've been in and out on starters inconsistently. I think some, health reasons that we're all dealing with, whether it's medical with COVID or not COVID or just being sick, to also just injuries. And so they're still, and when you're building a game plan, we can sometimes get too far in the weeds of data, and you overanalyze, and you got to have a call for this, and you got to have a call for that, and how we're going to stop that. And sometimes when a team has been in and out with consistency of people playing, now one thing they do have going for them is they're returning a lot of starters from last year on both sides of the ball, but offensively they have a quarterback that returned. He's mixing in. They're bringing in another kid to rotate with him, so it's kind of which one's going to go. Both can do things. They're good at throwing. They run the offense. They have two dangerous running backs. Number 3, who played for them last year, I think he's kind of their consistent bell cow. Probably knows the offense better than all the other kids. But then when 17 comes in, he's a difference maker. He's got great speed. He looks athletic. He moves around well. They have a good slot receiver. So they got enough balance and tools. If you don't line up and execute successfully, they will. I mean, they had big runs and big plays against Manor. They hung with Rudder early, and then last week with Johnson. It was hard to evaluate that game because, again, they had a lot of guys out that game. So, that was one of those you're kind of like, I'm not sure if that's really the team we're going to see. And that can make it kind of hard, but I think offensively I think they're gonna slow it down. I think they're gonna come. We've seen them coming out of a huddle, so I think they're gonna try to slow it down, keep our offense off the field, which we kind of know that's an MO. I think they're gonna believe they can take some shots against our secondary off of some play actions. I think their O-line's good. Is it as good as Weiss's? I don't think so, but they've been consistent. I mean, they blocked Manor. And those guys on Manor's side can get after you. So, again, it's going to be a challenge for our front, and we're going to have to do some things. And where we've been a little beat up, we got to be better than what we had the last couple of weeks, and we got to get off field on third downs.
Yeah, I think that was one of the things that I was going to ask you. I mean, that was obviously one of the key points is getting off the field on those third downs. There was times when Bradfield for Weiss would just throw it up. Yeah. I mean, he was under duress, and he'd throw it up, and somehow his receivers would come up with it, and that was just the kind of night that you had. Yeah, and just 1 yard past the line to gain for the first down, it was like, okay. But I think overall, those 3 and outs, if you can get those early, I think that's successful for your defense. Helps kind of give the momentum to them, but then gives that offense a chance. So now offensively, I mean, again, we know that you can move the ball on the ground. We know that you can throw it through the air, but what is one thing that their defense maybe presents that you're like, okay, that's really what we got to concentrate on, or we have, as coaches, have kind of looked at this week? I
coached against Coach Patman at Bastrop for many years, and he's been traditionally a 4-2-5 guy. That's what we saw last year, kind of what we been their MO. And then they come out and they've been in a 3-4 probably more than they've been in a 4 down. And it's like, okay, here we go again. Is that out of necessity? Is that because the guys are in and out? Is that just they're trying to play to the strength and changing some things up? So again, there's going to be that. Identifying fronts, and they're going to try to copy. Obviously, when a team had success like Weiss did, we're going to see it's a copycat league. We all watch film. That worked. Can we do that? Can we do that well? Then we need to implement that. We need to at least see if they fix the problems. And so, I think they're going to give us multiple looks up front to see if we can confuse our offensive line. Again, that's the group. When we were on our keys and we made the right calls up front, we blocked Weiss. We ran the ball like we wanted. We could throw where we wanted. When we got confused up front, we struggled. We didn't identify. We didn't combo to the right guys, and we let people come off. And we didn't look as good. And so that's part of being a young offensive line, young center, some things there that we're growing up. In the course of 2 weeks, I think we've been as good of a look and trusting that JV defense has done a great job of jumping in and out of looks, trying to make sure we're making the right calls. So
I think that's number one. They got athleticism in some of their secondary spaces. I think their D-line plays pretty big. They got number 82, plays left defensive end. Really like him a lot. He looks like an all-district defensive lineman. He plays well. You know, we're going to have to make their linebackers move in space and cover us, and but I think for us it's consistency at the offensive line, both in the run and pass game.
Yeah, I think after the game against Weiss, I mean, that's the most that we've seen Mason on the ground being sacked in so far this season in only 3 games.
Yeah.
But, I know Coach Harris and Coach Noble are going to take that personal and help those guys and those young offensive linemen. But, again, like you said, you have had some time to prepare, some time to work through those things and correct those mistakes, if you will, coachable moments that we saw in the game. And it's a new season. I mean, it's like Troy said. Now that was our preseason. It's kind of over. You've had a week to kind of say that's done. Now it's time to move into district play, and it's one game at a time.
Yeah.
We're not looking to next week and worrying about homecoming that's already around the corner. We're worried about Bastrop this week.
Yeah, it's huge to get off to a 1-0 start in district.
Yeah.
It just changed the whole tables. You fall 0-1, you kind of it's not like you can't get out of it. You obviously can. In our program, we talked about the last couple of years, we want a standard and an expectation and a goal. And the standard is to qualify for playoffs. That's the number one. We got to start checking those boxes now. And you can't wait for, we'll get healthy next week. We'll get this. No, like we got to check that box this week.
Yep.
At this practice, did you check those boxes? And then we do that, then we can worry about the expectation next. But it's just focusing on the standard right now, striving for that qualified playoffs. It starts with Bastrop getting that first win, and we're gonna have to play well. Bastrop, we got to travel. It's a little far. It's a darker stadium, and we got to get off the bus and we got to unload and we got to bring a team. And that's been our bye week's great. We got healthy, but we haven't practiced consistently. We've still been. This guy's been out. We're gonna hold him out, and getting this because we still got to come together, and it's time. It's time to gel. And it's time to go forward.
Yeah. So how many seasons? How many times has Rouse won their district opener in school history? I didn't put him right on the spot.
Just won our district opener. I know last year.
I'm going to say last year, and I thought it was
2017 or 18.
17.
I know Michael Forster's group. I believe we won our first district game right on the box.
I thought it was 3. Well, we're going to check that.
Well, in 2012 we did. We
Right.
beat Dripping Springs both years right out the box. So we both won those opening district games. I think that's it because and basically you draw probably what you're going to is you draw a comparison to years we've won our first district game. We've qualified for the playoffs. So
Yes. See?
yeah, we better.
Coach Mann right
Yeah,
here.
yeah.
I put him on the spot, and he just performed like that. I mean, just knocked it out. Now, we'll have to check ourselves because if not, Sterling, I believe, is the stat guy. He's going to check us to make sure that we're on par. But he's going to throw that stat out there. But speaking of stats, Cody's going to put up – we're going to go to our pick'em. And, Coach, this is an unusual place to see Coach Mann. But I think he's baiting us.
I want everybody to feel good about themselves going in.
Well, I mean, yeah, you look at the week one results. Obviously, the college picks. That's what happens in college football. Oregon going into Ohio State and beating them. Nobody picked Oregon to win because we all thought they're playing at home, and then Texas going to Arkansas and just laying an egg. That was, I think, after they got the muff punt and they decided his foot was out of bounds, everything changed, and it kind of felt like the Rouse Weiss game. Like everything was bouncing the way of Arkansas, and they just took over, and it was not good.
Yeah,
so,
Arkansas looked pretty good up front.
of course, our NFL picks. I mean, Cody and Chuck, 4-1. We were at the bottom, hanging out 1-4.
Yeah.
I mean, even though I picked the Cowboys and everybody else picked the Bucks, which, kicker, he makes a field goal in his extra point, game's over, and the Cowboys actually win. They actually look pretty good, and they won yesterday, so that's even better.
Even better.
Even better. But we're going to have our picks this week, and we went first one was Dallas and Philly. And Coach Mann is, along with me and Cody, picked Dallas. And Chuck went with Philly.
That was a hard one to pick, to be honest. Like, I like how
Hurts.
Jalen Hurts is playing.
Yeah.
And I didn't look to see where that game was.
It's in Dallas.
Okay.
Monday Night
Well,
Football.
then it's probably should have went with Philly.
Everybody does well at Jerry's World. I don't know why, but yeah. And the next one, Cincinnati and Pittsburgh. Obviously, Chuck is going to always pick Pittsburgh.
Yep.
He's pretty realistic, though. Like they went 11-0, and then they started going down, and he was like, yeah. But it happens. I mean, that's the life of a Cowboys fan, to be quite honest with you. But he picked Pittsburgh. I think we all picked Pittsburgh over Cincinnati.
I did. I think I stuck with Pitt. Yeah.
We all picked the Browns over the Bears,
Yeah.
which, I'm not sure about that one either.
Now,
Not sure
Browns,
about the Bears.
I think the Browns are good. I mean,
Yeah.
they barely lost to Kansas City, had that game put away, and they just didn't finish. And the fourth quarter, and of course, I don't know how many people really can against Kansas City. They're pretty good. Other than the Ravens, the other night, that was
Yeah.
I would not want to tackle Lamar Jackson. Wow, that dude is a special human being.
Yeah. We had Arizona again. I don't know why we're stuck on Arizona. Probably Kyler Murray, OU quarterback, right? And the Jags, which the Jags are, I think, a mess
that was
right
an
now.
easy pick.
We had to throw an easy one in there, but then we had the Bucks and the Rams, which we were we all picked
Another
the Cards,
easy
by the way.
pick.
Who'd you pick?
The Bucks.
The Bucks. Chuck and I are on the same page, surprisingly. Go with the Rams.
Oh,
I think the Rams. I think Bucks have been exposed a little bit. I mean, if Dallas can hang with them that close, I think we're,
so exposed.
exposed. I'm telling
9
you.
touchdowns through 2 games.
I'm telling you.
Gronk's getting the
No,
tutties.
Gronk's going to get injured, and he's going to be a non-factor. Telling you. Brady is going to go out on the low note.
Oh God, he's
And I promise, it's only Coke in here. It's only Coke. All right, so those are our picks for the pros, and we went to the college level, which I'm hoping we do better than we did the week one. But we had OU versus West Virginia. West Virginia with the upset over Vautech last week. But I think everybody picked OU.
That's a dangerous.
Except Chuck. He went with West Virginia.
Yeah.
I
I'll
don't
say
know.
this, Judson, who's the biggest OU fan I know, he was like, I don't know, West Virginia maybe. I mean, he's going to stick with OU, but he's not feeling good about it at all.
No, if Radler plays the way he's been playing, there's going to be. I mean, there's a little concern when you play Tulane at home and they come in and you have to hang on to win the game. A little bit suspect there, but Chuck went with West Virginia, the rest went OU, and then Notre Dame, Wisconsin. Coach, you and Chuck picked Wisconsin.
Yeah.
Cody and I were smart and picked the Irish. I don't know if that's smart, but maybe it's not.
Yeah, they kind of talking about squeaking out 2 wins, Notre Dame. I mean,
Yeah.
that Florida State win doesn't look as good right now either.
No, it doesn't. Then we went Texas and Texas Tech.
Ugh.
Coach Mann picked Texas Tech. No, he didn't. He actually
Oh,
picked
I
Texas. Chuck picked Texas, and I picked Texas for some reason. Cody thinks this sleeper. This is a sleeper one.
This is a sleeper. You went with
And
Tech.
He went with Tech,
Oh.
if you can believe that.
I can never go in anything with TT on it.
And then we have A&M and Arkansas at Jerry's World. So I don't know if this is going to favor Arkansas or not. But, of course, Coach Mann's going to go with
That game might be 2-0.
You think so?
Yeah, that's defenses for those 2 teams are legit. A&M's offense is trying to figure it out with the backup quarterback now
Yeah.
playing, but A&M's defense is for real. They are loaded to bear. I mean, it reminds me of a couple years when they were the Wrecking Crew. I don't know if they're there yet.
Yeah.
I'm not going to claim now, but this will be the test. This is going to be interesting to see.
Well, out of all of us, Chuck picked Arkansas to upset A&M, which I'm rethinking that right now, but it's too late because I picked A&M. And then Iowa State and Baylor, we were kind of split on that. Me and Coach were the smart ones, took Iowa State, and Baylor went to Cody and Chuck.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's Big 12, right? You never know. I mean, Iowa comes in and beats
College
Iowa
football
State.
right now. I mean,
Yeah, you saw the reason our picks were 2
yeah,
and 3
I mean,
and 3
you
and
can-
2.
If you're hitting the parlays on and all those bets on the college
That is,
games,
it's got to be
hats
luck.
off. I mean,
That's got to be a little bit
I mean,
of luck
because
on your side.
what North Carolina loses the week before, wins big this week. I mean, it just was all over the place. So
Yeah, that's the fun part.
I hope I keep losing this. It means I'm not watching much NFL or college football. To be really, if you're taking my analysis on anything gambling, don't do it.
It's based off
I don't
ESPN highlights. That's
gamble.
all
I
you get,
don't-
right?
I'm just. I listen to what the 2 boys argue about daily on there, and I'm like, oh, they must be pretty
You
good.
must be doing your picks in, yeah?
So whoever wins the fight's usually where I go with on the
you go.
arguments.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, they're arguing right now, I think. All right, well, that's the end, Coach.
Yeah, we
We've
made
done
it.
our picks, and we got to the end. We want to thank all our guests, Coach Elrod, wide receivers, Jalen and Troy. Join us here at Sharksburger.
Yeah.
Sharksburger, again, hosting. What a great venue. Come out, enjoy some food. Doesn't have to be on Inside Raider Nation any day of the week. I think they got live music on Friday through the month of
do.
October. So be sure to come out and support Dino. He does a lot for the Rouse community. But Any shout-outs you want to give before we let you go?
Well, remind everybody go to rousefootball.org, and we got some new merch coming out. So I'm always pushing merch, and we're still fundraising and still going. There's still opportunities to get in there and become a member and all that. So they got some new coaches, new fishing shirts for the guys. So some nice Columbia stuff. Our winter gear is about to start coming out. No, this is an old one. But I did wear it tonight, trying to show that we did have the fishing shirt. So Miss Jordan then would be happy that I'm promoting something. And next Wednesday night, don't make dinner plans. Come to the pepper. We'll have our. Obviously, we'll push it next week, but next week is homecoming. We'll have our parade next Wednesday night, and we'll be selling food out of the concession stands. So come up, hit the concession stands, and do all that. So lots of things going on. Volleyball's still, going. Cross country, swim, everything like that's still happening. So. We got to get everybody get out Friday night. Go make the trip down to Bastrop. Stop maybe in Lockhart or something. Get some food on the way there.
Good idea.
Stop at Black's or something like that. Get some real good old school barbecue.
Oh,
I
yeah.
also want to shout out to my mom back at home. Big week for her. She's having a surgery on this Thursday on some stuff going there. So we're thinking about her, praying for her and her family, and Brandy's grandmother. Had a little accident too over the weekend, doing fine, but we're thinking about both of them, and it's hard. We're so far away in a lot of ways. We can't always be able to go there and help like we want to at times, but thinking about them, and just come out and let's do it. We and to our players, let's do that TikTok challenge with Go Grades.
Yes.
Let's turn stuff in early now, so we don't have to have the high grade heralded twice over the last 4 days, and bye week wasn't enjoyable because it was stressful. But glad it's done and ready to go to beat Bastrop.
Yeah, a good incentive for that is that way you get to be on that playoff shirt that gets made. That third season, you get to be a part of that. Don't want to miss out on that by not making the grade. So there's my push. But and Kara did say go Arkansas, go Hogs for some reason.
Oh, come on.
I just had to let you know that, but somebody did tell us, I think, some of the updates. You actually got them right, by the way, so putting you on the spot. Under pressure is money. So we're hoping that continues on Friday night, and if it does, we have some Black's Barbecue waiting for you on the bus, Coach.
Done.
Yeah? Okay, but you have to win. If not, then Cody and I get to eat it. Deal?
I'll be eating. Hey, I can spend some money at Black's now. I'll go eat barbecue. I don't go cheap.
Cody's like, forget Coach winning the game and getting some Black's Barbecue. He's going to be eating it. He's not going to share.
I can rack up a bill at a barbecue place.
Yeah. But we definitely appreciate everybody tuning in. Those that came out and joined us here at Sharksburger, we appreciate the players coming out as well. It's good to see them. And now get back into the groove of things. Special shout out to Jacob DeLeon, who's still here, by the way.
Hanging out.
Hanging out.
Loyal and true.
And the two-man boys. Right, Judson and Jace, and all the folks at A to Z Sports Media, and the best producer in the business behind the camera, Mr. Cody Franks, executive producer. And for my co-host, Coach Mann, this is Inside Raider Nation. And until next time, good night and God bless. And as always,
Go
Raiders.
Raiders.